Have you ever considered if your daily beverage is quietly harming your brain? As we age, many of us turn to tea for comfort, routine, or even health. It feels natural and even healing. But not all teas are created equal, and some of the most common ones can quietly accelerate cognitive decline without you ever realizing it. In this video, we're diving into 5 specific teas that may be doing more harm than good. These aren't rare or exotic blends. In fact, most of them are sitting on store shelves right now, or maybe already in your kitchen. But when consumed too often or without understanding their effects, they can interfere with memory, focus, and long-term brain health. The good news? Once you understand what to look out for, making a smarter choice becomes easy. And even small changes to your tea habits can protect your brain, sharpen your clarity, and help preserve the independence that means so much in our later years. Stay with us until the end, because what you learn today might not just improve how you feel tomorrow, it could help safeguard your mind for years to come. Let's get started. Number 1, detox teas with high caffeine and laxatives. At first glance, detox teas seem harmless, even beneficial. They promise to cleanse, to purify, to give you more energy and a lighter feeling in your body. And for many older adults, especially those trying to improve digestion or lose a little weight, these teas feel like a gentle helping hand. But under the surface, they can quietly create the perfect storm for neurological stress. And very few people talk about it. Most detox teas rely on a combination of high-dose caffeine and natural laxatives like senna or cascara. And while those ingredients may be plant-based, the effect they have on the nervous system is anything but gentle, especially in older adults. The high caffeine content can overstimulate the brain, triggering anxiety, irregular heart rhythms, and even sleep disruption. And when sleep suffers, the brain suffers with it. Meanwhile, the laxatives work by forcing the bowel to contract, more than it would on its own. This can cause dehydration, a condition that's far more dangerous to brain health than most people realize. Dehydration shrinks brain volume, reduces blood flow, and slows down the very pathways that keep memory sharp and mood stable. It's not just about going to the bathroom more. It's about the toll that repeated water loss takes on your brain's ability to function clearly. Let's take Linda, a 68-year-old who began drinking detox tea every morning, thinking it would help with bloating. Within weeks, she noticed her energy dropped in the afternoons, and she felt mentally foggy after lunch. At first, she blamed it on aging. But once she swapped out the tea for a caffeine-free, digestive blend and focused on hydration, the fog lifted. "I thought I was just getting old," she said. "Turns out I was just drying myself out." The truth is, your body already knows how to detox. Your liver, your kidneys, your skin, they've been doing it your whole life. When you add a tea that pushes your system harder than necessary, you're not cleansing, you're straining. And for a brain over 65, that strain often shows up as forgetfulness, fatigue, or confusion that seems to come out of nowhere. If you're drinking a tea that promises rapid results, check the label. Look for high caffeine or any mention of natural laxative herbs. And ask yourself, is this tea helping you feel clearer or just helping you feel emptier? Because what your brain needs after 65 isn't stimulation. It's stability. And that starts with what's in your cup. Number 2, licorice root tea in large quantities. There's something soothing about licorice root tea. Its naturally sweet flavor, its use in herbal remedies, its promise to calm digestion or ease a sore throat. For many seniors, it feels like one of the safest, most traditional teas to reach for. But what most people don't realize is that in larger or repeated amounts, licorice root can quietly become one of the most neurologically harmful choices in your tea cabinet, especially after 65. The problem lies in a compound called glycyrrhizin. It's what gives licorice root its distinct taste. But inside the body, glycyrrhizin can interfere with potassium levels, raise blood pressure, and trigger a chain of effects that place serious strain on the cardiovascular system, including the flow of oxygen and nutrients to the brain. When blood pressure rises, even subtly, it narrows the arteries that supply the brain, and over time, that reduced blood flow increases the risk of cognitive decline. You may not notice it at first, maybe a little forgetfulness, a little brain fog, a bit more difficulty concentrating. But these are the early signs that your brain isn't getting the support it needs. It's not just theory, it's been documented. The Food and Drug Administration even issued warnings about consuming too much black licorice in a short period, citing its effects on the heart, kidneys, and nervous system. And while most people don't eat licorice candy in bulk, They may unknowingly sip licorice tea day after day, thinking it's a gentle herbal remedy. Take Frank, 72, who used to drink 2 cups of licorice root tea every evening to settle his stomach. He liked the taste. It helped him sleep. But over time, he noticed more dizziness when he stood up, more lightheadedness in the morning. His doctor found elevated blood pressure and low potassium. And when Frank cut the tea out, the symptoms began to resolve. "I never thought something so natural could be the problem," he said. Now, to be clear, an occasional cup of licorice tea isn't likely to hurt you. But drinking it regularly or combining it with other medications that affect blood pressure or electrolytes creates a dangerous mix that your brain may quietly suffer from. So if you've got licorice root tea in your rotation, check how often you're drinking it and check the label for glycyrrhizin. If you see it, or if you're unsure, consider switching to safer alternatives like ginger, peppermint, or chamomile, teas that calm the system without compromising your mental clarity. Because after 65, your brain deserves calm, but not at the cost of circulation or cognition. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, excessive black tea consumption. Black tea has been around for centuries. It's rich, familiar, and feels like part of everyday life. Whether you drink it hot in the morning or iced with lunch, black tea is one of the most consumed beverages in the world. And it's often seen as a smarter choice than coffee or soda. But what many people don't realize is that drinking too much black tea, especially after 65, can slowly undermine brain health in ways that are easy to miss. It starts with the caffeine. While black tea has less caffeine than coffee, it still adds up, especially if you're drinking multiple cups a day. And for older adults, the body becomes more sensitive to caffeine's effects. It can interfere with sleep quality, increase anxiety, and elevate blood pressure, all of which are directly tied to cognitive decline when they become chronic. But that's just one layer. Black tea is also high in tannins. These plant compounds give tea its deep flavor and astringency, but they also bind to iron in your digestive system and prevent it from being absorbed properly. For seniors, especially women or anyone with borderline iron levels, this can slowly lead to iron deficiency anemia, which is a well-documented contributor to brain fog, fatigue, and poor concentration. It's a double hit: poor sleep at night and less oxygen-rich blood to fuel your brain during the day. Take Rita, 76, who drank 4 cups of strong black tea every day, 2 in the morning, 1 with lunch, and 1 more in the evening. She liked the flavor and the routine, but she started noticing more forgetfulness, more sluggish thinking, and her energy seemed to dip earlier in the day than it used to. Her doctor discovered that her iron was low, and her sleep patterns were fragmented. Once she cut back to 1 cup a day and swapped in caffeine-free herbal blends, her focus returned, and so did her stamina. This doesn't mean black tea is the enemy. In moderation, it has antioxidants and benefits of its own. But the line between benefit and burden is thinner than most people think, especially in your later years, when your body processes things more slowly, and your brain depends on rest and nutrition more than ever. So if you're drinking black tea more than twice a day, or if you're sipping it into the evening, take a moment to reflect on how your brain feels. Are you clear in the morning? Do you sleep soundly at night? Is your focus as strong as it used to be? If not, it might not be your age. It might just be your tea. Number 4, flavored herbal teas with hidden artificial sweeteners. There's something comforting about a flavored herbal tea. Maybe it's the warm notes of vanilla, the fruity hints of berries, or the minty chill that lingers after each sip. These blends feel harmless, almost indulgent, but in a healthy way. And for many older adults, especially those watching sugar intake or trying to cut back on dessert, these teas feel like the perfect substitute. But hiding behind that flavor is something most people overlook: artificial sweeteners. You might not taste them. You might not see them on the front of the box. But many mass-market herbal teas, especially the ones labeled dessert, blends zero sugar or naturally sweet, include chemical additives like aspartame, sucralose, or saccharin. And while these ingredients may keep the calorie count low, the long-term impact on brain health can be far more costly than most people imagine. Studies have shown that frequent consumption of artificial sweeteners is linked to changes in the gut microbiome, insulin resistance, and, most concerning of all, an increased risk of cognitive decline and stroke. particularly in people over 60. These sweeteners don't just fool your taste buds. They disrupt how your brain responds to sweetness, how your body manages blood sugar, and how the neurons in your brain fire and communicate. And because these teas are marketed as healthy or safe for diabetics, many seniors drink them daily, sometimes several times a day, without ever realizing that the chemical load is slowly working against them. Take James, 69, who replaced his afternoon cookies with a cup of chocolate mint herbal tea every evening. He felt good about the swab. No sugar, no carbs, no guilt. But over time, his thinking felt slower. His mood dipped. He struggled to remember details he used to breeze through. It wasn't until he read the fine print, sucralose was the third ingredient, that he realized what he'd been sipping every day. He switched to a plain rooibos blend with cinnamon and citrus. Within weeks, he felt brighter. The issue isn't herbal tea, it's what's been added to it in the name of flavor and convenience. If you see naturally flavored, no sugar added, or sweet on the label, take a closer look at the ingredients list. If you spot anything ending in os, yum, or in that you don't recognize, chances are your brain doesn't like it either. Your brain doesn't need sweetness. It needs clarity. And that clarity begins with clean, simple ingredients that support your health, not confuse your system. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5, bottled iced teas with added sugars. They sit on convenience store shelves. They're tucked into refrigerators next to bottled water and juice. And they look innocent enough, cool, refreshing, with a label that says green tea, lemon, or with antioxidants. For many older adults, bottled iced tea feels like a smart choice. It's not soda. It's not juice. It's tea, right? But here's the problem. Most store-bought iced teas are loaded with added sugars, sometimes as much as a full can of soda or more. And that sugar, when consumed regularly, becomes a direct threat to your brain health in ways that are easy to ignore until it's too late. Excessive sugar increases inflammation throughout the body, including in the brain. It impairs insulin sensitivity, making it harder for your brain cells to absorb and use glucose, their main source of fuel. Over time, this leads to a foggy mind, poor memory, and in many cases, a higher risk of developing dementia. You might think, but it's just tea. And that's exactly why it's dangerous. Because it doesn't feel like a treat. It doesn't feel like dessert. So people drink it daily, sometimes multiple times a day, believing they're doing something good for their health. Take Ellen, 70, who loved the peach green tea from her local grocery store. She drank a bottle with lunch every day, thinking she was choosing something light. But after a yearly checkup, her doctor found elevated blood sugar and early signs of insulin resistance. When Ellen checked the label, she was shocked. 32 grams of added sugar in a single bottle. She switched to brewing her own tea at home, sweetened lightly with a slice of orange. Her labs improved and so did her focus. The hardest part? These teas often hide behind words like natural flavors, antioxidants, or lightly sweetened. But sugar is sugar. And for a brain that's aging, processing high levels of it every day is like asking a tired engine to run on the wrong fuel. If you enjoy iced tea, there's a better way. Brew your own. Add fresh mint, lemon, or sliced berries. Let the flavor come from real ingredients, not artificial syrups or hidden sweeteners. Because when you nourish your body with intention, your brain feels it first. And remember, the drinks we sip out of habit have the greatest impact over time. Make sure that impact is a positive one. Final thoughts. So, after hearing all this, you might be wondering, how many of these teas have I been drinking without realizing their effects? It's an important question, because these aren't obscure, hard-to-find products. They're common, familiar, and that's what makes them dangerous. They don't set off alarms. They don't come with a warning label that says may affect memory or may raise your risk of confusion. They just quietly build up, sip by sip, day by day, until the brain starts to feel foggy, slow, or disconnected. But here's the good news. Once you know what's behind the label, you get to make new choices. You don't have to give up tea entirely. You just have to drink the kinds that support your health instead of draining it. Your brain after 65 is more sensitive, yes, but it's also more responsive. When you start cutting out the hidden threats, excess caffeine, fake sweeteners, dehydrating ingredients, added sugar, you begin to think more clearly, sleep more deeply, remember more easily, feel more like yourself again. Tea should be a ritual that lifts you, not a habit that slowly wears you down. So, take a look at your cabinet, read a few labels, brew something simple, something honest, something real, and give your brain the calm, clarity, and care it deserves. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.